Recording in progress.
Good afternoon, class. Before I start our discussion for today, let me ask, how are you doing? Miss Claveria, how are you?
Good afternoon po.
Good
I am
afternoon.
doing great naman po.
That's good. And how about you, Miss Kalimlim?
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, I'm also doing good po.
That's great. So, first, I would like to ask you, how do you ask questions? Like, for example, when I tell you, hey, Miss Claveria, we have an ice cream in the refrigerator. So, what is the first thing that pops in your mind? Or what is the first questions that you want to ask?
Maybe where did you bought the ice cream?
Okay, where did you bought the ice cream? Like, of course, because there's no ice cream if we did not bought it somewhere, right? And how about you, Miss Kalimlim? What if I tell you something that it's let's say it's so hot today, and what's the first question that pops in your mind?
Um, do you want to drink cold water?
Yes, do you want to drink cold water? Because obviously it is hot, right? And you want to feel refreshed. And we people, we are always asking questions because we are curious about something, or we just want to confirm if the assumptions are correct, right? And so, um, I have here two sample sentences that we will formulate questions. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so these are the first sentences. The first one is, I love playing basketball, volleyball, badminton, and chess. And the second question is, or the second statement is, I want to eat a chocolate cake after our class. So, Miss Claveria, regarding the first sentence, what is the questions that you want to ask for the sentence?
For the first question, maybe what kind of sports do you enjoy doing?
Okay, what kind of sports do you enjoy doing? And I will answer, I love playing basketball, volleyball, badminton, and chess. So that's a good question because you will ask me, what are these sports I love to play? And I will answer these sports, okay? Or any other questions that you want to
Um,
ask?
yes po. What sports interest you?
Okay, that's good. Okay, so same with the first one, I will answer this statement, okay? And for the second statement, I want to eat a chocolate cake after our class. Miss Kalimlim, what are the questions that you want to ask when you hear this statement?
What do you like to eat after class?
What do you like to eat after class? And since we're tired from the class and we have some, or we like something to eat that is sweet, right? To refresh, to feel refreshed or energized. And more questions pa.
Mm, do you love sweets?
Do you love sweets? And that's also possible, okay? And now, since we are always asking questions in order to know something about a person, or if we want to inquire about something or about them, we always ask questions. Now, the questions you asked earlier, let's compress it. Let's make it shorter. Okay. So for the first sentence, Miss Claveria, what are your question earlier for the first sentence?
What kind of sports do you enjoy doing?
What
And
kind of
what sports
sports? Okay.
interest you?
So how will you make it shorter, or how will you compress it in order to make it shorter? Of course.
Um, do you enjoy doing these sports? Then you will insert the basketball, volleyball, badminton, and
Okay.
chess.
Or we could also ask them, do you enjoy sports? Or for much
Ah, yes.
shorter question. Okay. And while the what is your other question for the first sentence?
What sports interest you?
Okay. let's try to make it shorter, no? Um, what sports are you into? To make it much
Mm.
shorter, okay? And now for the second question or second sentence, I want to eat a chocolate cake after our class. Okay, so for Miss Kalimlim, what are your questions earlier?
What sweet do you like?
Okay, what sweet do you like? Also, if we would shorter or shorten this question, we could ask, do you like sweets? Okay, and the other one is, what do you want to eat after class, right? We could ask, um, do you want to eat after class? Or we are trimming some words in order to make it shorter, but it retains the essence of the question. So that's how shortening the questions work, okay? And now, since we are kind of familiar with shortening these kind of questions, now I have two more example sentences. But this time, we will make it shorter than earlier. Okay? Like for example, I really love her attitude towards studying. And for the second example is, Sheila is a very hardworking woman. So let me share my thoughts first, okay? So for the first sentence, I really love her attitude towards studying. And if I would ask a question, I would ask, um, do you really love her attitude? Or I could say, um, do you? Okay. So, for the next sentence, Sheila is a very hardworking woman. And if I could formulate a question, it would be, she is, because I am doubting that this person or this woman is a very hardworking woman. Okay? So, now, for the first sentence, Miss Kalimlim, I would like you to formulate a short question for the first sentence.
I really love her attitude towards studying. Um, do you?
Do you? Or we could also ask, in this context is, does she? If this person could, or if this woman actually um, have this attitude towards studying, but your answer is also correct, which is do you? Okay? But if we are looking into it into another light, we could also ask, does she? Okay? And next, for the second sentence, Sheila is a very hardworking woman. So, Miss Claveria, what do you think is applicable short question for this sentence?
Is she?
Is she? Okay, so that is also correct because you're asking, 'di ba? You're asking if she is really a very hardworking woman. Now, since your answers are correct, what are your guides or what are your clues in order to formulate these kind of questions? Because earlier, we have formulated questions, but it is longer than the original, right? Like, for example, the questions we formulated in these two sentences are, do you, does she, is she, or she is. But it is much shorter. So, what are your clues and your guides? Miss Kalimlim.
For me, sir, I first formulated a longer question before the shorter.
Okay, so your guide is the or formulating the question with much longer, and then you tried to trim it down so you get the shorter question. Okay. So how about you, Miss Claveria? What are your clues in these sentences to make a much shorter question?
I first look at the subject and then look at the verb.
Okay, that is also correct. We are looking for the subject and the verb in the sentence in order to formulate these short questions. Like for example, for the first sentence, I really love her attitude towards studying. So what is the subject in the sentence? Anyone?
I po.
I. And the verb is
Love.
love. Okay. So since we are asking a question, we will replace this subject and the verb into an appropriate form. Like for example, the I will be changed into you because I am talking to you. So that's why I changed I into you. Okay. And love, since we're asking a question, the appropriate verb for the noun you is do. So the appropriate short question is do you? Okay. So how about the second one? Sheila is a very hardworking woman. What is the subject and the verb in the sentence?
Sir,
Okay, Miss Kalimlim?
I think the subject is Sheila and the word is the verb to be.
Okay, that is correct. Since Sheila is our subject, the noun that we will use is she. And the verb in the sentence is the word is. So that is why when we changed it into a question, the the proper short question is she, because the word is an auxiliary verb. Okay, so that's why we just copied it, no? So is she? Okay. So now we have a little activity. Okay. This activity is called Can I Match It? So we have column A and column B, and we're going to match the statements from the column A with the proper short questions in the column B. Okay. So for the first one, I have been working all day long. Okay, and the next sentence is Angelica loves to watch horror movies. Next, John went to a theatrical play with his girlfriend. And fourth, Maria ate the fruits and vegetables. And fifth, my father is a great fisherman. So for the first sentence, which is I have been working all day long, what do you think is the proper short question in the column B? Okay, Miss Claveria.
Letter B po. Have you?
Yes, correct. Because since the first sentence have the auxiliary verb have and the subject in the sentence is I, we changed the noun I into you because we're talking to another person and second person is you, okay? So the proper short question is have you? Okay, so that's correct. How about the second question or second sentence? Angelica loves to watch horror movies. Miss Kalimlim?
Letter A po. She
Letter
does.
A. She does? Okay, so what do you think? Why do you think that the proper short question is she does? Because in the column B, there's a choice which is did she? What made you think that the correct answer is she does?
The verb is in the present form. Yes.
Correct, because the verb used in the sentence is in present forms. So that's why we use the short question she does. Okay? So that is correct. And number 3, John went to a theatrical play with his girlfriend. Okay. So what do you think is the proper short question?
Letter E po. He did.
Letter E. He did. Because just like what Miss Kalimlim have said earlier, since the verb is in the past form, okay, so we will use also a past form of the verb in the short question, okay? And for the fourth, Maria ate the fruits and vegetables. Oh, what do you think is the proper short question?
Letter D.
Letter
Did
D.
she?
Did she? So that is also correct because our verb is Maria, which is a woman. Okay, so that is why our noun is she, and the verb in the sentence is ate, which is in also in past tense. Okay, so our verb that will be used in the short question is did. Okay. So, so far we're doing great, no? And ayan, for the last sentence, my father is a great fisherman. What is the correct answer?
The last answer po na naiwan, letter C, is he?
Letter C, is he? Because that is also correct because it also used a verb which is, which we will copy is, and the noun which is my father is changed into he because he is a guy or he's a man. Okay, so that is correct. So now, do you now understand how we are formulating short questions, but we could also retain the same essence of the question? Okay, so do you understand?
Yes po.
Okay,
Yes po.
so um, that is good to hear because you learned how to formulate short questions. So let's have a short recap. Okay, first, we formulate longer questions, just like how we normally ask questions, and then if we're trying to get the same answer but with shorter, we try to trim down the some words that are somehow not needed in the question. And last, we came to the identifying the subject and the verb in order to formulate the um, short questions. Okay? So that is all. And thank you for listening. And I hope that you have learned something today. Okay? Thank you. And bye bye.
Thank you po.
Thank you.